Namaste, yogis, and welcome to Yin Yoga practice. If you feel you may need support, please feel free to grab props, such as small blankets, a bolster, or yoga blocks. Do keep in mind that this is a Yin Yoga practice and not a restorative yoga practice when using your props. We will be holding these poses for 5-minute durations. The most important thing, however, is that you feel safe. If you need to come in and out of the poses, please do so. Always practicing ahimsa, which in yoga means non-harming. If something hurts, don't do it. I will let you know when it's time to come out of the poses. Let's begin with marauding bear pose. This is called marauding bear or lion pose. Come to all fours. Place your shoulders over your wrist, your hips over your knees hip distance or a comfortable distance apart. Now walk your hands out about 1 hand length. Begin to shift from side to side, maybe taking your head and neck one way and your hips the other way. And just moving however feels organic, circling into the shoulders and the hips, maybe coming forward and backwards, just beginning to warm up the spine and the entire body. Moving your arms around, moving your hips around, your head, neck, and hips. Marauding bear and lion pose. And once you're done and you feel a little bit more warmed up, come back to all fours with your shoulders over your wrist, your hips over your knees, and find stillness. Shift back onto your heels and come to sitting on your buttocks, coming over to either side. Once you get there, bring your legs out wide in front of you. We're going to start with a pose that's called dragonfly. You may want to take a blanket and place it underneath your buttocks if you need to feel a little bit more elevated, and maybe the blanket will help you come forward a little deeper. If it hurts the back of your knees, you can place blankets underneath your knees or bring your legs a little closer in. So finding your edge. Once again, bringing your legs out wide, relaxing into the toes and the feet, and then bring your hands out in front of you. Begin to slowly walk yourself forward. Once again, finding your edge. Maybe your elbows or your forearms don't rest on the ground. Listening to your body, finding your shape of the pose. Once you get there, relax into the toes and the fingers once again. Relax the back of the neck. Relax your chin. Take your driski, your gaze to the floor or slightly out in front of you. We're going to once again be holding these poses for about a 5-minute duration. Let's begin. I will let you know when it's time to come out of each of the poses. In Yin, we practice what's called the 3 S's. So we begin by taking your shape of the pose. So you take your shape of the pose is the first S. The second S is we soften into the shape of the pose. Now remembering that in yoga, every day is different, just like life, depending on what type of day you might be having. Your shape of the pose might be different each day. So take your shape of the pose and then soften into anything that's not holding you up. So soften into the toes, the backs of the knees, the back of the neck, the shoulders. Soften into your fingers, soften into your gaze. And soften into the chin and the space in the back of the neck. So once again, you've taken the shape. You've softened into the pose, and now we're going to stay still for a time. So we're a little over just 1 minute now, and we're going to once again hold this dragonfly pose for 5 minutes. In Dragonfly, you're getting a nice deep stretch in the lower back, the groin area, the back of the thighs, and the knees. And we hold poses between 1 and 5 minutes in Yin so that we can lengthen and strengthen the connective tissue that surrounds the joints. So often we're just kind of sitting in our little bubbles daily, never really stretching into the connective tissue, making them healthier around the joints. Sometimes we tend to get a little bit tight in areas in our body because our connective tissue hasn't been lengthened and strengthened that surrounds the joints. And then so often we tend to do maybe just one type of cardio exercise, such as running or just playing tennis, and not really stretching our body. We should be balancing out yin and yang during the course of our lives and our exercises. We have about 2.5 minutes left in this Dragonfly. Continuing to soften into anything that's not holding you up. Take the rest of the time here to quiet the mind, steady the breath. There's no particular way to breathe here. Just breathe into the body as needed and relax. Remember that if at any time you need to come out of the pose, always listening to your body, always practicing ahimsa, please do so. But then maybe we have 1.5 minutes left. Maybe you found a little bit of opening and you feel a little bit more stretch. Maybe coming down a little deeper into this Dragonfly. Listening to your body. We never want to boomerang out of a yin pose. So begin to slowly walk yourself back up. Taking your time, there's never any need to rush. In yin, the slower the better, coming out of your pose. You want to slowly begin to come back up and slowly to relieve any tension or recognize any tension that might be occurring in that lower back, groin, thigh, and knee stretch. Once you come to the top of the pose, take your hands on either sides of the knees and then bring your legs slowly together. Continuing to sit up tall, spine is straight, neck is neutral. We're going to go right into what's called caterpillar pose. So begin to slowly walk yourself forward and then take the palms of the hands. Place them upward, bringing the backs of the hands to the mat on each side of the feet or the ankles. And then folding forward, allowing the back to be long, the chin to be neutral. And then maybe here you want to take a block and place it underneath your forehead. Maybe also you need that blanket underneath your buttocks again to help you propel a little bit further forward or be comfortable in the forward fold. And you don't want to grab your feet here. You never want to grab and grip in any asana pose, be it yin or yang. And so it helps to turn the palms to face up and forward fold. We're holding this asana as well for 5 minutes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Now that you've taken your shape of the pose, soften into anything that's not holding you up. So soften into the shoulders, soften to the backs of the knees, the feet, the fingers, that space in the back of the neck. Soften. Once again, if at any time you feel you need to back off, please do so. Listen to your body. In this caterpillar pose, it opens up the back of the legs and the whole entire spine. The dragonfly that we just did, you get a deep stretch in the lower back only. In caterpillar, you get a nice deep stretch in the entire spine. In yoga, the spine is the most important part of the body. It's responsible for all of your body functions. Incidentally, in Pilates, the spine is called the tree of life. We have about 2.5 more minutes in this caterpillar pose. Continuing to soften into the back of the neck. You're breathing normal or taking deep breaths if that feels organic to you in this deep forward fold, this caterpillar pose. A little over 1 minute left. Yin can be very therapeutic in that it allows you to quiet your mind, steady your thoughts, and just stay still for a while. And the reason we emphasize taking your shape of the pose, for example, in this caterpillar pose, your knees can be together or a comfortable distance apart. Once again, do not bolt out of this pose. Begin to slowly walk yourself back up. And then begin to slowly make your way to your back. Bend into one knee into the other, sending the soles of the feet to the mat, and then very slowly come to lying on your back. And for now, allow your knees to come to the ceiling with the soles of the feet resting on the floor. Bring your arms up overhead if that feels comfortable. If not, bring them to your sides, coming into what's called pentacle pose. And we want to take a moment here to just notice how you're feeling. Taking maybe a couple of deep breaths. Notice where you're feeling the pose. And the reason why we want to take a moment just to recognize where we are is to allow the body to slowly rebound. So, for example, from those two forward folds, I am feeling a little something in the lower back. So I want to give and I've been doing this for a long time, but I want to give myself some time to just rebound from that asana, and that's very, very normal to feel a little bit of tension, certainly no pain in the back area. And then once you're done, bring your knees into your chest. And taking now what's called a rebound, rolling from side to side, giving your lower back just a gentle massage. Maybe circling your knees one way and circling them the other way. Moving in a way that feels very organic to you and your body. Sometimes I like to straighten my legs and bend them back in. And then again, roll from side to side, circling one way and then the other way. And then when you're ready and you're feeling a little less tension and a little more ease from those two asana poses, find stillness. Bring the soles of the feet back to the mat. And if you're ready, straighten into the left leg, straighten the right leg. Bring your hands to your side. And then just stay there for another full breath. Continuing with the rebound. Bend back into your knees. Bring your knees into your chest. And roll over to your favorite side, coming onto your belly. And once you get there, your legs can be together or a comfortable distance apart. You want your pelvis firmly pressed into the mat or the floor, and then come up on your forearms for Sphinx pose. So immediately your spine's going to curve. This is a back bend. If this is too much on your back, you can walk your hands out further in front of you. But if it feels comfortable and you're on your forearms, make sure that your shoulders are over your elbows. Your shoulders are over your elbows. Your fingers are relaxed and spread wide. Your chin is tucked in slightly. And then play around with your neck. Maybe it feels good to shift your head from side to side, or looking forward or looking upward. Just notice what feels organic in the neck. This again is called Sphinx pose. And we're going to hold this back bend for 5 minutes. So you've now taken your shape of the pose. You've softened into your fingers. Maybe you've softened into the buttocks, the front of the thighs, the back of the neck. Your heart is lifted. You're not sinking into your shoulders. And then you're moving your head to where it feels organic and comfortable. Maybe you're taking a deep breath in, exhaling, and giving yourself permission to relax in this Sphinx pose. Yin yoga practice is a complement to any type of high impact exercise such as running, kickboxing, tennis. Where there's yin, there's yang. So you always want to make sure that you're mixing it up a little bit. I tend to do yin class, maybe following the next day a jog or a spin class or high impact yoga class, such as vinyasa yoga or hatha yoga or a hot yoga class. But where there's yin, there's yang. So you always want to complement any type of high impact exercise with something that's like a yin class, for example. We have about 2 more minutes in this Sphinx pose. Let go of any holding in the fingers. Relax into the fingers. Allow your shoulders to relax. Remember, practicing ahimsa, non-harming. If this is causing you any pain, please come out of the pose and maybe take a child's pose, and we will catch up with you. Minute and a half left. Once again, don't boomerang out of this pose. Begin to lower to the mat, bending into your elbows. Place one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on the tops of the hands. Stay here for about 3 breaths, maybe shifting your hips from side to side, allowing the tension to slowly relieve from the back. and then find stillness. Now we're going to move into another pose that's called cat's tail. Take your right hand out long in front of you and roll over to your right side. Now you can prop your head up with your right hand. Then you're going to take your left knee and bring it up towards your face, towards your chin, bending into the right knee. Take your left leg, bring it out way behind you, and then you're going to take your left hand, the top hand, and grab the bottom foot. So grab the right foot. And then you're going to bring that foot towards your buttocks. So you should feel this stretch in the big bones of the front of the thigh, called the quad, getting a nice quad stretch. And we're going to hold this cat still pose for 5 minutes. Take a deep breath in now that you've taken your shape of the pose. Once again, soften into anything that's not serving you. Soften the neck and the shoulders. Maybe bringing the foot closer towards the buttocks if that feels comfortable. And then we'll find stillness. Take time here to quiet the mind, steady your thoughts, and then maybe take a little bit of time for self-study. Self-study in yoga is called svadhyaya. Take a deep breath in and relax into this cat's tail pose on the right side. The further you bring your knee towards your chest, your left knee towards your chest, the more you might feel it in the quad of the right leg, the big bone in the front of the thigh. Also, getting a nice stretch in the front body and the shoulders in this cat's tail. A little over 2 more minutes. One more minute left in this cat's tail pose. Don't Hold your breath here, breathe normal, or take deep belly breaths if that feels organic in your body. Begin to slowly come out of the pose. Again, don't boomerang out of any yin pose. Take your time. Coming back to center and slowly coming over to cat's tail on the left side. So bring your left arm out long in front of you. Roll over to your left side. If it feels better to prop your neck up, you can do that, or lay on the top of the arm. Bend into the right knee this time. Send the left leg far over to the left side, bending into the left knee and taking that left foot towards the buttocks. Take a deep breath in. Take your shape of the pose. Soften into the shoulders and anything that's not serving you. And let's stay still for a time. Getting a nice deep stretch into the big bone of the front of the thigh, the quad on the left leg. Quieting your mind, steadying your thoughts, maybe closing your eyes here and allowing these next few minutes in this cat's tail pose on the left side for quiet meditation and reflection. Breathing normal. Two more minutes in this cat's tail pose on the left, remaining. Slowly begin to release the left foot. Coming back onto the belly. Bending again into the elbows, placing the hands on top of one another and your forehead resting on the tops of the hands. Giving yourself just a couple of minutes to rebound from that deep quad stretch. Noticing where you feel the stretch, where you feel, how you feel, if you feel the stretch. When you're ready, slowly roll over onto your back. Allow your legs to come out long in front of you. Spread your legs wide. Take your arms overhead or to your side with your arms out wide. Coming into pentacle pose once again, still in your recovery period from that stretch. Bring your knees into your chest, taking the rebound, rolling from side to side, circling the knees, reaching the legs up to the ceiling, whatever feels organic, any type of movement that feels organic to your body. Taking a couple of breaths here if that feels comfortable. And now bring your knees back into your chest. Take your arms out to the side in a T. And then now take both knees over to the left side. And then take your driski, your gaze, past your right fingers. Now, if that doesn't feel organic on your neck, you can bring your driski, your gaze, to the ceiling or to the left. But we're going into what's called a spinal twist. So wringing out toxins in the body. And we're going to be here for 5 minutes as well in this spinal twist. So we've stretched out pretty much the entire body. And we're getting a good stretch here in the intercostal muscles on the outside of the waist. Getting a little bit of a stretch too into the hips here, the IT band, the shoulders, the back of the neck. If your shoulder tends to come off the ground, either the right or the left shoulder, maybe bringing it up a little bit, bringing it down a little bit, maybe placing a blanket underneath it. So no biggie if the shoulders come up off the ground. It just depends on how your body is built and structured or how much flexibility you have in the shoulders. You'll notice that the more you do yoga or stretches, the more flexible you will become. Bringing no judgment to your practice, finding your body where it is. Again, each day, yoga is just like life. Allow your body to be where it is each day. If you find yourself kind of shifting and just being anxious during your holding of your poses or just shifting and from one side to side, you might want to just count your breaths or take deep breaths. Maybe taking 4 breath breathing by breathing in for 4, out for 4, 4 counts. Sometimes we get a little fidgety if you're not used to holding poses for a long period of time. Some people are not accustomed to quieting the mind, or find it very hard to quiet the mind and stay still for a time. And usually if you move with your breath or notice your breath, sometimes that helps to quiet the mind and keep you from fidgeting throughout the practice. It'll also maybe help you stay still during that time. We are so used to, as human beings, doing, not realizing that we are not humans doing, we're humans being. So just give yourself permission to be in this spinal twist for the next 1.5 minutes, quieting your mind, steadying your thoughts, and bringing your focus within. Bring your knees slowly into your chest once again, coming over to the other side, taking your knees now over to the opposite side, taking your drisky, your gaze, beyond the fingers of the opposite hand, or whatever you did on one side, please do on the other. So taking the twist on the opposite side for 5 minutes. You have 2 more minutes left in this spinal twist on the left. Come back to center. Come back into the pentacle pose. Allow the legs to come out long in front of you. Your arms up overhead or to your side. Your legs are out wide. Your arms are out wide. Noticing just for a breath or two what you're feeling, how you're feeling, where you're feeling. Now slowly, one more time, bring your knees into your chest. Take any movement that feels good on the lower back, the hips, maybe rocking side to side, circling your legs, taking a happy baby pose, whatever feels comfortable and organic as you introduce movement and take your rebound. And then when you're ready, find stillness. Place your hands to your side. Reach your legs up long towards the ceiling as if the feet are walking on the ceiling. The soles of the feet are towards the ceiling. Relax the shoulders. Allow the tailbone, the lower part of the sacrum, to sink into the earth. Allow the earth to receive the lower back and the sacrum and the sits bone. And allow the sits bone to receive the earth as you take this waterfall pose. This waterfall pose helps bring fresh oxygenated blood to the heart, the thyroid, and the brain. This is called an inversion. Take 2 more deep breaths here as we bring it all together. Bend into the knees. Place the soles of the feet on the mat. Take your left leg out in front of you, right leg out long in front of you. Separate your legs and your feet. Place your arms to your sides with your palms facing up. Relax the shoulders, the back of the neck, and very, very slowly close your eyes as we prepare for Savasana. Let go of any holding in your feet. Relax your ankles, the front of the legs, the back of the legs, and the knees. Soften the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, and the pelvis. Let go of any holding in the deep, low belly. Relax the chest. Relax the fingers, the hands, the lower arms, the upper arms, and the shoulders. Relax the front of the neck and the back of the neck. Let go of any holding in your chin. Allow the tongue to fall to the back of the mouth as you relax the cheeks. Let go of any holding in the eyes as you allow the eyes to fall back into the eye sockets. Now bring your awareness to your third eye, located right between the eyebrows. That is called Anja. It's your sixth chakra, your chakra of intuition. Always honor it. It's that little voice in your body that says, I'm listening. I thought so. Something told me that. Now let go of your third eye, Anja, your sixth chakra, as you let go of any expression on your forehead. Give yourself permission, yogi, for 2 deep breaths to just relax. You can stay here in Savasana for about 3 or 4 or 5 more breaths. Noticing if any effects of your practice. Thank you, yogis, for allowing me to participate in your yoga practice. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be well. Namaste. Hello, yogis. I hope you really enjoyed that. You may have noticed that I was moving in a vertical and horizontal position. That was so you could really see the shape of the pose. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I will be happy to explain any of those poses. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.